Howdy y'all, I'm Barky Foxtrot, and this is my version of Black Friday. For whatever reason, it's named Furry Friday. Oh boy. Anyway, before I get started on this, I want everyone who watches this video to understand that I am not Dark Boo. I will not try to be Dark Boo. So you're on the wrong video if that's what you're here for. I am going to be me. So let's move on now. I'm going to tell you a story about the time I tried out for a voice role. Back in 2011, I fell in love with quite a few television series, one which gained quite the status online and split the internet into so many pieces, it's hilarious. Well, I found out at some point later someone had just finished a crossover merge story thing with one of my favorite games and the TV show. Until that point, I was not too big on the idea of fan fiction. After a few months and an entire sequel to this crossover merge story thing, they announced that they were working on a game based around the first story. And at this point, I was trying to involve myself as much as I could with the, whole project, as after the second story, the community kind of got more involved with it as well, so I was trying to be a part of that. And, I like the story, and I would have loved to offer, my point of view of the story. Gave up after a combination of different things that left me unmotivated. The team mentioned they needed voices for the project. Only a few of the voices that they required were actually male. So naturally, with this sort of thing, everyone was trying for them. Well, everyone that was interested was trying for them. So I try to be one specific character because, because this character's crazy and I know I can do crazy. I mean, the character is quite literally insane. So, I send it in, doing 3 different takes, different sort of voices for it, and I get nice reactions from all of them. One of them being like, "Oh, that's interesting." The other like, "Oh, that's funny," and the last one like, "That's good. Do more of that one." So the only one really moving forward was the deep voice one, which isn't hard for me to do considering my voice is deep. And so I read the lines in another take, and I'm told I don't have any competition for this role until a day later, of course. But I was still told that I have the part if the other person could not beat what I had. So far, couldn't. So, I hadn't heard back from anyone until sometime later when the team posted an update on the project's webpage stating something along the lines of, "If you got an email, you know who you are." So, I tear through my email looking, hoping that I had only just missed it. I didn't, because it was never there. So then I go looking around for who possibly got the part that I wanted. And what I found is what really upset me about the whole deal. I saw a conversation between someone and the owner of this project, and they were, the someone was saying stuff like, "I don't want someone to take the role from me, considering I'm a shoo-in for it." And that kind of told me one or two things. I was either lied to, or this guy is really full of himself. I'm probably going with the first one. I mean, he does seem like he's full of himself, but besides the point, if I do recall them actually mentioning the character I was after, which, meant that I was not only indirectly rejected, but also lied to. Now, don't get me wrong, my takes for the character were really, really bad. I can see why someone beat me, but it's also the problem of, I was not told directly, you didn't get the part. And I was lied to as well. It's it's the kind of deal where it's like, "Oh, you're the best. No one can beat you." And then they turn around and say the same thing to someone else, and they don't even bother mentioning either one. It's like a relationship with someone that's cheating on you, except not quite as bad, because that's a little more emotional than, yeah. So it feels great when someone, says, "Oh, you've got the part, no one's beating you currently, you're fine, you have nothing to worry about." And then they turn around and say the same thing to someone else. It feels great. And, forget that some of us actually have feelings and aren't robots. It's cool. Don't worry, I don't have feelings or nothing, guys. And I don't expect anyone to know what it feels like, because it's a tough thing. Like, if you haven't done any sort of acting, you probably will never know how hurtful it can be to be like, for someone to just blatantly lie to you and then be like, I don't give a crap. But I'm not happy with the way the situation turned out, which is why I'm like always certain to let others know that I'm no stranger to rejection because of this, because I've had the worst kind of rejection, the kind where no one tells you a damn thing, so you have to find it out all on your own. This situation is also the reason I'm so hesitant to take chances and try out things. It's not really fair to the people trying for a part to never hear back. And the end of this story is like, I don't hold anything against most of the people involved in the project. I do hold something against the person who beat me for the part, but that's because I'm a sore loser. My trying out was awful, and I really could do much better now. Well, anyway, I guess that's it for me. I hope you all enjoyed this boring story. I'm boring. You should think I'm boring. Put it in the comments. I am boring. And be sure to check back tomorrow for your Scoop Saturdays. Someone else is taking that over. I wonder who it could be. And I'm boring. Goodbye.